Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jyotiraye Nashtaprayasya Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavati Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th Canto, 9th chapter, verse 38. Sa eva hi punha sarva vastuni vastu swarupaha sarveshwaraha sakala jagat karana bhuta sarva pratyak atmavat sarva guna abhasho palakshita eka eva prayavasheshitaha. Venkat Narasimha Prabhuji, since you raised your hand, I'll give you the chance, but we're gonna go to synonyms after you recite. Go ahead.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी सा एव हि पुनः सर्ववस्तूनि वस्तु स्वरूपः सर्वेश्वरः सकल जगत्कारणकारणभूतः सर्वप्रत्यगात्मत्वात् सर्वगुणाभासोपलक्षितः एक एव पर्यवशेषितः. हरे कृष्ण माताजी.
Thank you. Saha, he, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Eva, indeed. He, certainly. Punaha, again. Sarva Vastuni, in everything material and spiritual. Vastu Swarupaha, the substance. Sarva Ishvaraha, the controller of everything. Sakala Jagat, of the whole universe. Karan, of the causes. Karanabhuta, existing as the cause. Sarva Pratyak Atmavat, because of being the supersoul of every living being or being present in everything, even the atom. Sarvaguna, of all the effects of the material modes of nature, such as intelligence and the senses. Abhas, by material manifestations. Upalakshitaha, perceived. Ekaha, alone. Eva, indeed. Paryavasheshitaha, left remaining. Translation by Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai. With deliberation, one will see that the Supreme Soul, although manifested in different ways, is actually the basic principle of everything. The total material energy is the cause of the material manifestation, but the material energy is caused by him. Therefore, he is the cause of all causes, the manifester of intelligence and the senses. He is perceived as the super soul of everything. Without him, everything would be dead. You, as that super soul, the supreme controller, are the only one remaining. Purport by His Divine Grace Prabhupada Ki Jai. The words Sarva Vastuni Vastu Swarupaha indicate that the Supreme Lord is the active principle of everything. As described in Brahma Samhita, 5th chapter, verse 35, Eko api asau rachayatam jagatanda kotim yashaktirasti jagatanda chaya yadantaha andantarastha paramanu chayantarastham govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. I worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead Govind, who enters the existence of every universe and every atom by one of his plenary portions and thus manifests his infinite energy throughout the material creation. By his one plenary portion as Paramatma, Antaryami, the Lord is all-pervading throughout the unlimited universes. He is the Pratyak or Antaryami of all living entities. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, verse 3, Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. O sign of Bharat, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies. Because the Lord is the super soul, he is the active principle of every living entity and even the atom. Andantarastha paramanu chayantarastham. He is the actual reality. According to various stages of intelligence, one realizes the presence of the Supreme in everything through the manifestation of his energy. The entire world is permeated by the three gunas, and one can understand his presence according to one's modes of material nature. Om Agyan Timirandasya Gyan Anjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manabhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadapahyam Rati Sapadantikam. He Krishna Karna Sindhu Teen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantha Radha Kantha Namastute. Taptakanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishbhanuste Devi Pranamami Hari Priyai. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namne. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvisheshishnivadi Paschatya Deshatarine. With deliberation, one will see that the Supreme Soul, although manifested in different ways, is actually the basic principle of everything. The total material energy is the cause of the material manifestation. But the material energy is caused by Him. Therefore, He is the cause of all causes, the manifester of intelligence and the senses. He is perceived as the supersoul of everything. Without Him, everything would be dead. You, as that supersoul, the supreme controller, are the only one remaining. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam 6th canto, which is called as the prescribed duties of the mankind, chapter number 9, which is called as the appearance of
Demon Vritrasura.
Vritsasura. And the demigods are praying to Lord Vishnu after Lord Vishnu has made his auspicious presence, answering the prayers of the demigods to help the demigods fight Vritsasura. And they have yet not put their request in front of the Lord, even though the Lord knows what is the request. But they are actually glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and in that glorification, they are establishing the reason that why they have approached Krishna. Why Krishna? Why not someone else? You see, this is like why they didn't approach Lord Brahma, why they didn't approach Lord Shiva, why they didn't go to the four Kumaras, why have they come to the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So they are convincing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are convincing and making it very clear that why Krishna. So, as we discussed earlier, that this is Aishwarya Bhav, right? This is like God is very great, and God is supremely powerful, and He is capable. He is very, very, supreme. So he can protect me. This is in awe and reverence. These prayers are in awe and reverence, which is not a pure devotional service, but nevertheless, because it has come to Krishna, it is very well respected and accepted by the acharyas. So much so that Sukdev Goswami has taken time to actually tell each and every prayer to Parikshit Maharaj, and our acharyas through the parampara have given it to us down the lineage. Okay, so understand that this is very, very powerful. And in this particular prayer, the demigods are making it very clear that why Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead once again. Like yesterday, the prayer was, I'm sure the class was wonderful about the differentiation of the rope and the snake. There is rope, there is snake, but who thinks rope as snake? Depending on one's quality of fear and fearlessness. Right here, now they're analyzing. See, this is very, very nice translation that one will see the super soul or all the manifested in different ways. How is Krishna manifested in different ways? Prabhupada is explaining it in the purport, although manifested in different ways. How is Krishna manifested in different ways? Because here we're saying that he's the basic principle of everything. One way of understanding it is that Krishna is manifesting himself in different ways in the different parts of the universe in his universal form. Right? Like, for example, Krishna says the mountains are representing bones in his body. The trees are representing the hair on his body, like that. So the sun and moon are representing his eyes. So different forms. That's one way. Other ways, the yogis find Krishna as an antaryami in the heart. They are looking for Krishna inside the heart, and they find the super soul sitting in the heart in the form of Shridaksha Vishnu. And what are the other ways in which Krishna is manifesting? He's manifesting, he tells about his vibhutis, right? He says, what does he say in 10th chapter? Rasoham apsikanteya. Different elements in this material world. Where are we finding Krishna? Or intelligence in a man, or sound in ether, right? Or healing herb, or mind, right? All these are life of the soul that lives. Different ways he's manifesting. But the basic thing is that he is the basic principle of everything. If he is not there, then the thing is dead. So what is the difference between the dead and the living? That Krishna in his form has withdrawn his potency from that living entity. So we are actually moving around and living because of presence of Krishna in this body, in the form of Vishwadaksha Vishnu. So we are very obliged to the Supreme Personality of Godhead to make this body functional for each one of us and give us the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to chant so that we can realize that he's there. And which Prabhupada is validating by quoting the verse from 13th chapter that know that I am Kshetragyan Chapi Mam Vidhi Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. O sign of Bharat, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies. So Prabhupada is validating that point from here. And Krishna, generally Prabhupada say the concept of God is that God is great. Huh? Right? So the concept of God is very, very great. Which the concept of greatness is that he is very, very, what in size, big or small? If we say somebody is very, very great, what is the first thing that comes to our consciousness? Very, very great means very, very big or very, very small?
Very, very big.
Big, of course.
Very big, right? So Prabhupada explains that in the lecture in Nectar of Devotion, that concept of God is he's complete, means he's greater than the greatest and he's also smaller than the smallest. That is the absolute definition of the great. And Srila Prabhupada is giving the reference from Brahma Samhita to validate that point. Andantarastha paramanu chayantarastham. So what is this? Paramanu. Paramanu means that atom. He is entering in a small atom. So he is greater than the greatest and he's also smaller than the greatest, smaller than the smallest, and that is why he is the greatest. Because he is fulfilling the definition of what is really great. So if we go behind understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, depending on our own intelligence and our own logic and speculations, we'll never be able to understand. That's why we need help from the acharyas to help us. And here this third analysis that has been done in this particular verse is that the demigod is saying, okay, the material energy is the cause of the material manifestation. Understood. Right? Material energy in the form of what is it? The three gunas, unmanifested three gunas, and then what is that called as the which we always get confused between the two?
Mahatattva?
Pradhana.
And Mahatattva and what else?
Pradhana.
Pradhan.
Pradhan.
Yes. So, okay. So my Guru Maharaj explained Mahatattva and Pradhan. One is in the unmanifested stage. Let me see my notes if I can find. And another one is in the, okay, my Guru Maharaj explained that Pradhan is the material elements in aggregate stage. And Prakriti is the elements that make up the Pradhan, like earth, water, fire. So Pradhan is in the aggregate stage, in the condensed form. And Prakriti is the elements that make up the Pradhan, like earth, water, fire, air, ether. And what is Mahatattva? Mahatattva, he told me, it's more or less Pradhan, but in a different stage, also called Hiranyagarbha. So we can see, okay, direct causes that we are getting these supplies from the Prakriti. But the ultimate cause is who made the Prakriti is going to be the ultimate question, is Krishna. So that is what he's saying. They're saying here, the total material energy is the cause of the material manifestation. Okay? Which is like the total material energy. What is the word used here for total material energy? What is this, the Sanskrit word used here for total material energy? I guess Sarvaguna. Like maybe the Sarvaguna. But the material energy is caused by him. One who is not intelligent will stop at just a total material energy, will not ask the ultimate question. But one whose intelligence is sharpened will ask that who is the cause of this total material energy. Okay, that is the third argument being presented, that why Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By the analysis. This is a prayer in awe and reverence. It's a stepping stone towards Bhava Bhakti. But this is the prayer. I feel like this is like they're worshipping Krishna because Krishna is so great. Krishna is so powerful. Krishna can actually help them fight Vritsasura. Which is okay, but understand that our parampara, we are Rupa Nugas, we are followers of Rupa Goswami. So Rupa Nuga or Rupa Goswami Prabhupada taught us the element of Prema Bhakti. Right, so this is not the ultimate goal. This is the stepping stone towards the ultimate goal, which can make our bond with the Supreme Personality of Godhead stronger. That yes, Krishna indeed is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because even the demigods are going to him. Okay, they understand if I'm making sense. So, what are the 3 points I spoke about? The first thing is that depending on the intelligence or depending on what mode of material nature one is covered by, one will see Krishna in different ways. But he is the basic principle of everything. So don't expect when we go and meet different devotees across the world or even in our congregation, everyone is going to see Krishna the same way. No. Okay, only a pure devotee can show us the basic element being same, but we are going to see Krishna as different in different ways. And second point is why is Krishna the greatest? Why is he? Because he is greater than the greatest and also smaller than the smallest. And third point is that he is the ultimate cause. He is the ultimate cause. Material energy is the immediate cause, but Krishna is the ultimate cause of even the material energy. And if Krishna is not there in his plenary expansion, maintaining these universes, then nothing will exist. Now, all these we are at the theory level, but we have to come to the practical level. And how do we bridge the gap between the theory and the practical is by practicing devotional service, by practicing. I think I'll stop here. Any questions, reflections, realizations, corrections? Then Prakash, Prabhu, if you want to add something.
No, Mataji, you done it so well and so wonderfully well. I just wanted to say that the Mahat Tattva, which gets converted into Pradhana, is by the glance of the Lord. And so when the Mahat Tattva gets agitated, that's when the Pradhana is produced. So that's why he is the cause of all the causes. It's the glance of the Lord that changes everything in the Mahat Tattva. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you, Mat. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay.
Hare Krishna from Mataji.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
Prabhu.
Mataji, I wanted to ask exactly Mahatatva, Pradhana and Prakriti.
Yeah, I don't know.
These three are interconnected or sometimes they three are used in the same sense?
So I told you what I learned from my spiritual master. I asked him this question and he told me only one devotee has decoded it in his experience in ISKCON, and that is Tamal Krishna Goswami.
Mataji, the
Hare
Mahatmata is the congregation of 24 elements. That was in the this Susti, before Susti, this has happened. That was what we read in the first canto.
Okay, so I'll tell you what I learned from my guru. Okay, my Guru Master had made notes. I'm reading it. He said Pradhan is the material element in aggregate stage. And then he said Mahat Tattva is more or less same as Pradhan, but in a different stage, also called Hiranyagarbha. And he said refer to second canto for more reading. And then he said Prakriti is the element that make up the Pradhan. like earth, water, fire, air, ether in the aggregate form. They make a pradhan, and then from pradhan, how I understand, the above stage is Mahat Tattva, and then comes the manifestation of the Prakriti. Prem Prakash Haridas Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I think you are right on the dot.
In my notes.
Prakriti and Pradhan can be described as Prakriti is a girl who has all the reproductive organ, but she is just a girl. And Pradhan is the woman who is actually pregnant. These pregnancy part is converted by the glance of the Lord, and Mahat Tattva is the main block or the main material from which the material manifestation is produced. I hope I make something
Yes, Prabhuji. I think
understandable.
it was in third chapter, first canto. Something right, Prabhu.
Yeah,
Exact.
it comes in the
Yes,
second
sir.
canto as well, and
First
third.
canto also, Prabhu. First
Yeah,
canto.
yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay,
Correct.
I'm not an expert in the analytical part of
No,
Bhagavatam, so
it's not at all,
So,
Mataji.
you are absolutely right, Surya Prakash Rao Prabhuji, that 24 elements make the Prakriti. That's perfectly, and the same thing makes the Mahat Tattva as well. So, is the difference is just this much: Mahat Tattva, Pradhan, and Prakriti. Prakriti gets converted when it gets agitated by the Lord's glance into a Pradhan.
okay, I think Prem Prakash Haridas Prabhu, could you start Damodar Leela?
Yes, Mataji, I'll do that. Thank you very much, Mataji, for your wonderful nectarian.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Pranamam.
We are highly obliged. I know you are very busy and you are doing it from hospital. Thank you very much,
Thank
Mataji.
you.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you,
Pranam,
Mataji. Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Everyone, please stay,
Hare
stay,
Krishna,
because
Mataji.
Prabhu will take the Damodar Leela. We are not done
Yes,
yet.
yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes,
We are
Mataji.
still live on YouTube though. So that's
So if we go through the Damodar Janani, day before yesterday, we looked at the Vipralamba Bhav or love in separation. This was between the Krishna and the Vrajvasis. Then yesterday we looked at the similar situation arising between the Yashoda Maya and the Lord Krishna, because Yashoda leaves Krishna while breastfeeding suddenly to attend to a boiling milk which is spilling out. Uh, Krishna gets annoyed, as I said yesterday, and this annoyance is then further exaggerated as he is hungry as well. The annoyance and anger created in Krishna is compared to Veerbhadra and Nrsimha Prabhu. And it is said that the neglect was felt as very big since Lord was hungry. He was getting frustrated because there was no milk in the morning, and that produced another angle of anger. And these anger collectively made him very fearful. We also learned that Krishna started behaving, his body started manifesting some symptoms. Number one was clenching and unclenching of his fists. And then he started with as if his little chest was heaved and was breathing very heavily. His black complexions were gradually turning into a reddish tinge, and his eyebrows were flitting, and his lips were trembling. So these are signs of he getting more ferocious. You can imagine Nrsimha Prabhu while coming out of the pillar and grabbing Hiranyakashipu to kill him. Krishna then first further looked at the kitchen area where the mother Yashoda was looking after the milk and taking the pot off the stove. The four parrots who discussed the events we also learned yesterday, and these were the first parrot said that, well, Krishna looks upset because he is deprived of milk. The second parrot says he's more upset because he's feeling abundant. So they created two aspects, hunger and abundance. And the third one then says, well, the child, when shows the pranks, when they are unsatiated with the hunger, and that is quite understandable. At that time, the last parrot says that he is angry is because it is most natural to get angry as he has been left spontaneously without any definite cause to a child. This is where we went yesterday, and now we look at further. I think you see me, right? I'll show you the beautiful photograph. This is the photograph that has been shown in the book. It's Krishna who looks awfully, though his lips are folded, he actually looks very angry. This book has beautiful photographs all through the books, very nicely printed books, but pretty dear. The question now comes in is about the anger. And Krishna, as the time passes, is getting more and more angrier than he was before. So this anger is increasing, and anger now is becoming the main cause everyone is looking at. Everyone means all that is surrounding Krishna at this point in time. Uh, Krishna not only is angry now, but here even the tears are coming out of his eyes. These tears are described as very hot, and they are dribbling very fast like a torrential rain. Various birds are around, and they are being talking to each other, and they are describing the anger of the Lord. The Sukha or the parrot. We learned about the four parrots, and now the one of the parrot is describing child Krishna shows an anger, and tears are certainly deceitful. For in the shelter of a mother Yashoda, he has no reason to be to exhibit like this. So one of the first bird now comes out with an argument that he is probably with the best shelter that anyone can imagine, Yashoda Maiya. And in this situation, he has no business to get tears and get angry when both of them are deceitful. Deceitful is something that you sort of mimic, though it is not existing, to get some advantage out of the situation. Then comes the sari, and that little bird explains in detail that, well, as sari is a kind of a motherly bird, and that says that you people are looking at child of 3 years as an adult, and you feel that from your adult point of view, Krishna should not get angry or should not cry. But as far as I am concerned, it is a prerogative of a child to cry when mother leaves suddenly, especially when she is feeding. And so these tears and this anger is not deceitful at all. So now the question they are talking about is the anger which is there, is it true or is it deceitful? There are various talks going on between many birds, including the wing-tailed bird, etc. And they are questioning whether
Okay.
truly an anger or
With the
just
Pungood and Banjud also. Okay.
is truly anger and tears or they are deceitful. Ultimately, they all come to a conclusion that such a small child of 3 years shouldn't be causing such deceitful act of producing an anger as fearful as Narsimha Deva and with the tears going through the eyes so hot and so torrentially. Then suddenly comes a bird from the Mathura, and this bird asks a question that Krishna has never been angry, and Krishna has never been fearful. Krishna has never cried. So, what is it? Is it really deceitful or not? The big question arises because the bird from Mathura comes with a Sastric scriptural evidence that Krishna never gets angry, never cries, and never has tears. So, all the stories going on around with possibility that Krishna is deceitfully showing anger were almost getting solved when suddenly a bird from Mathura gives a scriptural evidence saying that Krishna never gets angry, Krishna never has tears, or Krishna never is so fearful. This is what it stops at the moment. Any question, any doubts, any addition, any
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
the one yes, Prabhuji. Just a minute, Prabhuji. The before the bird says that it's a very good sentence. Why would he have cause for false tears when there is no one here? One of the strong arguments put forward for the tears and not being deceitful is that there is no one around here except Mother Yashoda and Lord Krishna. So why should he have tears which are deceitful, and why should he create a scene out of nothing? And so these arguments goes on, and then ultimately, as I say, a bird from Mathura overturns all the arguments by kind of saying that there is a scriptural reference, and that scriptural reference turns around the table, proving that probably these are deceitful. And so Sari is now confused what to understand of the anger and the tears of the Lord. Yes, Subbarao Prabhuji. Sorry, I'm sorry, I just left out something.
I'm sorry, Prabhuji.
No issues, Prabhuji. Go
I
ahead.
didn't know that you are not yet completed. Sorry, Prabhuji.
No issues, Prabhuji. Go ahead.
No, Prabhuji, actually in our path of Krishna consciousness, we are taught only to see and pray and meditate and keep knowing things. But whether sometimes we are speculating things, that is one thing which is coming. It's coming under speculation. Whether this is reason, that is reason, that is reason.
Yeah. So, Prabhuji, you are trying to say that the process that we are going through right now is kind of a speculation. right?
Whether it comes under that or something
Yeah,
else. That is
yeah,
only.
yeah. With my limited understanding, I feel that Krishna consciousness is a movement in which the consciousness matters. Consciousness, as Prema Kishori Mataji always says, is a state of mind or a mind that thinks what is going on. So, what is going on in your mind is a consciousness. And in your mind, if Krishna is all the time, you are a topmost Krishna conscious person. By going into level of Krishna consciousness, we need to change or transform because we all are materially oriented and all are trained so well and performing so excellently well in the material achievements and material grabbing, which is absolutely contrary to Krishna consciousness activities. To come into a spiritual realm, we need to change our mind. We need to change our thinking. And that change of thinking and the mind can only change it, transform us into a believer of a Lord. Faith, as I said earlier, is the strongest motive in the entire process of devotional service. And so, bhava and prema has to enter in. See, if we look at the devotional service, it divides into three major portions. Devotional service in practice or sadhana bhakti, devotional service in bhava, and devotional service in prema. And so bhava and prema are very important. To generate bhava and prema, we learn all the pastimes and glories of the Lord. To generate it quicker and faster, I feel that whatever we are trying to understand and learn and speculate, but all of those speculations are around the Lord, number one, and number two, they are all innocent speculations. They are not the speculations of a kind that God does not exist or I can become a God like that. And so these kind of speculations are actually to try and create bhava and prema in us and thus create a very strong faith which will lead us to a nishtha stage, which is more or less a firm stage of devotional service. Does that make some sense, Subbarao Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Only thing, usually speculation is involved with more of Jnana Yoga. And
Yes,
whether
not.
we are going sometimes into border of that, that is one doubt I got suddenly.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. We all believe that sadhu, scripture, and guru, these are only three pramanas that we accept. We do not accept any other pramanas. But these are not the speculations of a kind that decides the policy. These are the speculations that are done for Lord Krishna, whether he is raising his right hand, is he raising it for a purpose, or is it just an involuntary movement? Things like that, pertaining to our Lord and pertaining to his activities only. Thank you, Prabhuji, for a wonderful question. That's
Well
a
said,
very
Krishna Prabhuji. Hare
well
Krishna
answered,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Thank you.
May I
thank
add?
you.
May I
Yes,
just
yes,
to
Saromya
my
Madhvi
thinking?
Mataji, please go ahead.
Yeah. Just a few points. Actually, we are talking about the spiritual world, not this material world. So, in the spiritual world, everyone is living. Everything is living. Even the milk is living. Parrots are living. They are living, but they can talk. They have their own thoughts. They have their own storage of jnana also. And all these things they are expressing. Or the parrots and the birds, other birds, they are expressing. So they have their own language of talking, and which can be understood by very highly elevated devotees. So I think we should understand it in that way, that the acharyas that who have written this, they have their that level of understanding and associating with these things, spiritual things, and they put it in their words. So we should have that much faith in the words
Yeah.
of acharyas. They have realized it. They are not imagining it. They have
Yeah.
realized it, and they were
This,
living in that world, and then
I
they
think,
put it in.
yes, Mataji, you have a very good point. And probably they might have even realized and heard all the languages and stories. And she is absolutely right, but a very strong argument. So if that is the case, then it is not even a speculation. Thank you very much, Sureka Mataji, for coming to my help. Thank you.
Hare Krishna
Krishna.
Mataji. As Mataji said, it is great Acharya's statements also. We have to, because they have visualized
Yeah,
and written it. It's
they,
very authentic.
yeah,
Like
they have
Rupa
experienced it
Goswami,
rather.
Jiva Goswami said, whenever you anything you see, so many statements that notes. I have learned so many acharyas like Radha Nath Prabhu, Radha Govinda. They always comment on it. This was the comment. So it's also equal to a Shastra. That is authentic, I can say.
That's true, Prabhuji. I think you are
Prabhuji,
right, Prakash
because,
Rao Prabhuji,
oh,
because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was
mm,
passing through the jungles of Jharkhand, many animals
yes,
joined in some
yes,
kirtana. So I'm sure the exchange of languages wouldn't stand there, and they all knew each other and communicated very well. Then they can have some kirtana together. So Soromya Madhavi Mataji, her argument has a very strong point.
yes,
Thank you,
Prabhu.
Mataji, and thank you, Prakash Rao Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji.
Thank
Hare
you very
Krishna.
much. Very kind of you. Any other
As
questions?
you said, Prabhuji, that Krishna consciousness, the point you analyzed is a wonderful, Prabhu. Really, our mind is, I think, a drifting of thoughts and all. Always when you remember Krishna, slowly you will be advanced into that Krishna conscious. Krishna conscious means conscious, as you say. Wonderful that's why when we get angry or when we see something which is not acceptable or this thing, we would immediately say Hare Krishna, something like that. We have to think about Krishna. Slowly, our mind will be tuned to that, but say acceptance and again everybody says, 25% you say it should be on your tongue, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. That's what I learned, Prabhu. Great people from you, like.
I I entirely agree with you. And Krishna consciousness is such a foolproof method
Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada has described. I wonder many a times. I would love to see a stage where you surrender so
Yes.
much that you actually 100% surrender to the Lord,
Yes, Prabhu.
all yourself. And that stage, I'm sure we all will have, and we will reach to that stage.
All through only
Hare Krishna.
sadhana and shraddha.
Yes,
Hare
Mother.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes,
Prabhu,
Mother.
actually, I have met some devotees. Actually, they have. It's the experience that I have heard, and I have seen it. Some of the
Uh-huh.
devotees I met here in my Kharga temple, I found
Hmm.
that one of the Mataji has told कि for 10 years continuously I was chanting, है ना? He was chanting, chanting and
Yeah.
chanting. And in
Hmm.
10, 11 years, she could be able to recite Bhagavad Gita, to understand the verses very well. So as it is being said, Naam, Gun, Roop and Leela. That is how we progress. We have to
Yes.
नाम अपराध नहीं करना है, and ultimately we have to progress. So as our acharyas, the great devotees, they are actually in the stage where they are able to visualize the leelas. They are able to see and experience the leelas. I'm 100% sure, because I have seen the people who are not knowing anything, and after 10, 15 years, not one, many, they start to understand it fully. the stage comes in the life when you do, when you follow what Prabhupada has said, just follow regulative principle, chant. There should not be 10 naam apradhas, etc. And the process is so perfect that ultimately when you reach to that bhava stage, it becomes easy and you actually reach to that leela stage. So the devotees who are explaining us these things, they have already reached to that stage, and this is the reason it is touching our souls when we are listening. Not
Yes, Shakti Mataji, you're right.
everything touches our soul, but when we
Yes,
are listening to Damodar Leela, it is touching our soul, it is making us
yes.
happy, it is giving so much happiness. So that means it is all true, otherwise it could not be giving us happiness for so long. We are listening it for last 4 years continuously, so it cannot be an speculation. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Shakti Avasti Mataji. You are absolutely right. I have met few devotees who have actually explained that some of the pastimes that they hear, they now actually feel that they are actually participating in those pastimes. Our Guru Maharaj Namarishta Prabhuji also says that you should meditate in such a way that while you are listening to Srimad Bhagavatam, you are actually part and parcel of that Srimad Bhagavatam, and then gradually you will enter into the pastimes of the Lord. The word they use is entering into the pastimes of the Lord. So you are absolutely right, Shakti Mataji. Whatever you explain is right on the dot, absolutely perfect. And this is what we all eventually, I'm sure, would achieve with work and with the faith and Nishtha. Thank you, Shakti Avasti Mataji, for clarification and for showing us that revelation. Any other question, any other doubt, any other revelation? If there is none, I think it's about time. Thank you very much, all of you, for attending the early morning class. And thank you very much for making it lively by discussions and questions. I think we should ask more questions and discuss more questions. Even if we are wrong, we get corrected. And it's very important that we keep correcting our course. Course correction by finer tuning is very essential in devotional service so that we walk on a right path and probably the shortest path so that we don't spend a lot of time and maybe we get our goal in this life only. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhya vacha patita nama pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you very much. All of you have a wonderful Krishna conscious day. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
Prabhu.
Thank you,
Dandavat
Prabhuji.
pranams, Prabhu.
Pranams. Thank you,
Hare.
Prabhuji.
That was